All right. Matthew McConaughey is not related to what we're about to talk about, so welcome, guys, to We Fucking Love TV. Come to our website. We fucking love TB. We fucking love tuberculosis.
Doc Holliday.
We fucking love TV.com. Let's talk about Chuck.
Got a short skirt and a long jacket.
Yeah, so there's the theme song. It's played by Cake, and the title is Short Skirt, Long Jacket. Love it. Love what they do with that theme song.
Cake, gosh, they're a great band. And they really stood the test of time. Like, they thought they were just going to be like one of these one-hit wonder bands from the late 90s, and they're still...
Who? Chumbawamba?
Great songs.
Talk about character development on that show. Saw the previews 5.5 years ago whenever the show started. Loved it. And then I started watching it from day one. Loved it. And there for a while they went on hiatus a couple seasons in because of the whole writer strike bullshit and stuff like that. Then, of course, they moved it to Fridays. Then the show started sucking because the ratings dropped, and then...
No one cares what day your show's on TV as long as you don't put it on the weekend.
I mean, we have DVRs now.
Yeah.
It's going to catch it either way.
Quit trying to put everything on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's like Sundays now, right? Sundays
and Thursdays.
Everything.
Yeah. Stop it. Just, if you decide that blah, blah, blah is going to be on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, leave it there till the show's done.
But Chuck... Something about Chuck. Zachary Levi, anybody who knows him, plays the nerd. He is a... it's similar to Best Buy, and they had the Geek Squad, but this is the whole store is called Buy More. And their Geek Squad is called Nerd Herd, and Zachary Levi, Chuck, is... Well, he's an employee of the Nerd Herd, blah, blah, blah. Something happens in the first episode. His old college roommate, Bryce Larkin, he plays in White Collar now. Bryce Larkin sends him this email. It's called The Intersect. The Intersect is an epileptic's fucking nightmare, right? Did you ever watch the first episode and seen what this looks like?
No.
Okay. He gets this attachment in his email, opens it up, and it's just millions and millions of images just flashing on the screen of his computer, and all the data is subliminal with all those images, and he just gets all this just rush of data in his head, right? And now he knows all government secrets of everything around the world. When he sees somebody or sees a piece of information, he flashes. It's what it's called. He flashes on it. And, like, say, I look at that ticket on your wall, and I read all the data, and then, boom, he goes into this weird seizure-looking thing. His eyes roll back in his head and stuff like that. And on the show, it shows everything about, what is related to that ticket that I'm looking at. So it just comes to him. He's like, oh, I recognize that guy, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's just a human computer is all he is. And then...
But did it train him to be able to use weapons or anything like that?
Well, later on, yeah. Intersect 2.0, and I can't remember if they went to 3.0 or not. But anyway, what happens now is the CIA and the NSA. CIA is Sarah Walker, the blonde chick played by Yvonne Strahovski. And the NSA agent is John Casey, who is played by Adam Baldwin. If you guys remember, Adam Baldwin played Jane Cobb in Firefly.
Who's
I'll be in my bunk.
Did you ever watch Everwood?
No, but I know who you're talking about. You're talking about...
She was like their babysitter or whatever, and then her and the boy, they were going to have a baby together.
Yeah, you're talking about Sarah Lancaster. She plays Chuck's sister. Ellie Bartowski, yeah.
Well, whatever one I was watching, she was in it, and I was like, I know who that is. I remember her.
Sarah Lancaster, she's pretty hot. So, anyway, he gets to the Intersect, and the CIA and the NSA, they're like, holy shit. Bryce Larkin, who is an agent himself, sent this information to some fucking Joe Schmo nerd guy in Burbank that works at the fucking Buy-More. So they send an agent each to be his handlers, right? So he becomes this super spy. He doesn't want it, doesn't know what the hell is going on, really. So they babysit him for 5 seasons, pretty much. And then Intersect 2.0 comes out. He puts on these pair of glasses, and Intersect 2.0 teaches him how to fight kung fu, and he gets more data, and he learns how to use weapons and shit like that. The thing is, one of my favorite TV bromances is the friendship he has with Morgan Grimes, who the little short beard guy played by Josh Gomez. Those two together remind me of me and Josh, our special guest from last week. Love it. Love it.
I guess that's why I didn't get into it when I watched an episode, because who knows what season I was trying to watch. I was just watching on a recommendation.
Yeah, it's not something
if you don't see
just...
it from the beginning, I can understand with everything that you just said how it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me what exactly was going on. Because to me, it looked like the Best Buy was being held up, and that's what was going on. Yeah, it's not something
you can't just go right into. You got to start from the beginning. Season 5 was good because I knew it was going to be the last season, and which was a good thing, they actually got to choose when their show was going to end. So,
I think they're starting to see that, hey, more important than what we put on TV is the liveability of the product. We're more likely to get people to buy more DVD sets and more merchandise if we give a show a proper ending than if we cut it off. Right. Nobody wants 3 seasons of a show that has no ending. I mean, it
just ends out of fucking nowhere like Firefly did.
Yeah, nobody wants to own it. I wouldn't.
I don't know if they're going to go into syndication. They finished with 91 episodes. That's close enough, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even know what it goes to. They used to say 100.
Yeah.
But The Sopranos didn't make it to 100.
I think it's anywhere between 88 and 100, I think.
But The Sopranos had hour-long shows.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is an hour-long show,
it's hard to know exactly. So, yeah, I would say for an hour-long show, the rules are a little bit different.
Okay, let's go back into this.
Okay.
The nerd, single, lonely, lives with his parents. They started out being dead, and lives with his sister, who has a boyfriend, ends up being her husband, I think. Captain Awesome. Love that character. But the nerd, who turns to be a spy, has this super hot handler, played by Yvonne Strahovski. Super hot handler. And falls in love with her. And then later on, took her forever to notice him, I think. She ended up falling in love with him, and the whole show is pretty much about how the nerd gets the girl. And she is gorgeous, he's awesome, kicks ass, and she's way out of his fucking league. And then later on, I think in the last part of season 4, they end up getting married. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to be emasculated like a motherfucker, but I cried for like 2 hours after the end of that show.
Oh.
That show ended so well.
2 hours? Wow.
And if I went back and watched the last 5 minutes of that show right now, it would happen again.
Yeah.
I love that show so much. I don't think it would happen to somebody who, started right now and watched a whole marathon of all 5 seasons in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it would have that same effect on somebody like that.
Yeah, because they hadn't stuck with it for so long.
Yeah, because watching these characters...
But I watched a marathon. I kind of got caught up on Lost over 6 months, and then I watched the end of Lost, and I cried. But I think I was crying more because it ended so terribly. I think it was a combination of the stirring emotional music and...
Yeah, but the Chuck thing, you just fall in love with every character over the 5 seasons, and it ends so happily. And I mean, One Tree Hill is going to end this fucking year, and I've been a fan of that show for the last 8 goddamn years. And I love the characters on that show, but I don't care what they do with the ending of that. It could be happy, it could be sad, it's not even going to be close to what Chuck did to me. It was amazing. The ending was amazing. Loved it.
Well, it sounds like that may be a summer show for me. I may have to... what's good with, doing something that you've already seen all of, you could do, a greatest hits for me. You could write down and say, well, you need to watch the first 2 episodes, and then you need to watch these in the middle somewhere, and then you need to watch, the last season or something. You could do something like that.
That would include me going back through and watching them all again.
No, I just thought you might know them from just, the descriptions or something. But that's a good idea for all you that want truncated versions of great shows.
And Jeffster got to perform finally for a huge-ass audience at the end of it. I mean, I even cried then. That was so amazing. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. I think you should give Firefly another chance.
I just can't do it.
It gets good, really.
No, I'm sure it gets good. It wasn't that it wasn't good was why I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't watch the look of it.
The way it's shot and stuff like that, all the way it looks is just really calming. The music is calming. Sometimes when I want to fall asleep, I turn Firefly on and I fall right to sleep. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, it's not that... I mean, it's because I've seen all the episodes and I know what's going to happen.
The show that used to come on HGTV used to do that to me. Decorating Sense.
Oh, yeah, you could say that also about that one show.
Joanne Stefan, whatever her name is, she could put me right to sleep.
The narrator on How It's Made.
Yes. Oh... That guy's
good
great.
Show. Love that show.
Or, even the main history narrator who narrates on Modern Marvels. But things weren't always that way. As you know, hot dogs started out as little weenies.
They evolved into big weenies.
We started feeding them proteins and vitamins. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
And if you watch the suckers go through the assembly line, they get wrapped up by the wrapping machine.
Kevin James is coming to the Ryman in April. I'm thinking about going and seeing
Really?
him.
He's still doing stand-up?
Apparently.
What the
I
fuck?
just happened upon it, and I was like, oh, tickets haven't been on that sale.
Maybe Spence will show up.
That would be awesome.
And Arthur.
Can you imagine if it was Kevin James and then it was Patton Oswalt? That would be the greatest
Oh, yeah.
comedy night ever.
I mean, there's a lot of King of Queens haters out there, but
Shit. That was a quality show.
I love that show. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I mean, like the first 2 seasons, like a lot of those shows are blah.
Yeah.
But
Then
man,
they-
once they hit their stride.
then the last couple seasons were a little weird.
Yeah. But there in the middle, that was some of
Yeah.
the funniest stuff, man.
And they got rid of when they got rid of, what's his name?
Oh, Moose.
Yeah.
Hey, Moose.
Yeah.
Richie. When
Yeah,
we got
Richie.
rid of Richie, it got good.
Yeah.
What a terrible character. Hey, Moose.
Hey, Moose, I'm trying to get some ass over here.
Doug and Carrie had the best argument, even when they would do nonsense like, well, since you won't let me say for all intensive purposes.
Yeah, I remember
She's
that
like,
one.
that's because it's for all intents and purposes, you moron. I have 2 favorite episodes of the King of Queens, and I know they're my favorites because every time if I'm searching ahead on the guide and I know they're going to come on, I'm like, oh, I've got to record that one and it'll stay on my DVR forever. But
Yeah.
Cologne Ranger, I even know the names of them.
Yeah,
Where he gets the cologne in the store and Carrie doesn't like it, and she's like, your cologne is blue steel, and so he hides it in the cereal box. And what a genius episode. And the other one is I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one where he has upstairs wife and downstairs wife, where Carrie's at home working on something for a job upstairs, and so he's upstairs for the sex, and then he goes downstairs, and Holly,
Yeah, Nicole Sullivan.
yeah, so Holly's
from
his
Mad TV.
downstairs wife. She makes him dinner, and
What do you think about Danny Heffernan, his cousin?
I like him. He's funny. He's on Chelsea lately from time to time. He's really
Is he?
funny on
I
there.
haven't seen him since fucking King of Queens.
Yeah, he's always on there. That's his brother in real life.
What?
Yeah, the guy who plays his cousin is Kevin James's brother.
Really?
Yeah, he just has a different last name, so nobody thought that he was trying to ride on his
Gary
brother's
Valentine? I did
coattails.
not know that.
Yep.
They do
Gary
kinda look
James
like, I
or
guess.
Gary Valentine. Either way, they're one of those last names is made up. So check that out for yourselves, folks.
Wikipedia, that shit. You doing my Scott Stapp voice?
Yes, you totally should. I love it.
Wikipedia, that shit. Go ahead, open up your Firefox internet browser with arms wide open.
I just found the web today. Gonna see naked ladies. Are we finished here?
I think so, yeah.
That's it.
See ya, fuckers.